I totally feel like a sophisticated Mimi right now. Like, it's the blue eyeshadow. Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and I am a collector and hoarder of makeup. And to continue to collect and hoard makeup, I promised I would sit down, film some content, and that is why we're here. All right, today I am going to be doing a first impressions on the Oden's Eye Christmas Eve palette. This is part of a Christmas collection, and this is what the inside of the palette looks like. So if you're curious on what I think of this palette and how I got this eye look today, then go ahead and keep on watching. All right, so before we dive into this eye look today, I do want to mention a few things about this palette. So this palette is from the brand Oden's Eye Cosmetics. And until this collection, I have never tried their products before. So this is not just like a palette review itself. It's me trying out a brand for the first time. A few things about this brand. It is a brand in Sweden. So if you're in America, like I am, or maybe Canada, basically if you're not in Europe, this is going to take a few weeks to get to you, just because, you know, it's across the pond, you know, it's gonna take time to get to you. So keep in mind, if you do want to try their cosmetics, you're looking at a 3-week shipping situation going on. This is the color story right here. So let's go ahead and jump into me trying it out. I am so excited to dive into this palette. Okay, so this is the Christmas Eve palette from Oden's Eye Cosmetics. All right, this palette has such a beautiful and unique color story. Like, you've got the blues and you've got some really pretty yellows, some purples, you know, a really nice mixtures of mattes, shimmers, and even a multi-chrome in this palette. Kind of what draws me to this palette is because, like, when you think of Christmas, you think of those traditional green, red, silver, gold. Like, you know, they make songs about it, right? Now, I like this palette because in my house, and like when we decorate the outside of our house, we flip-flop it every year, but we do blue and white one year and then like more of a traditional red and white the following year, or red and green the following year. So to see a Christmas palette that's got more blues in it, it just, you know, it's unique to me because most Christmas palettes are reds and greens, golds and silvers. So with this palette, definitely going to be getting into some blues today. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to start off by saying how I prime my eyes. I did use the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base in the shade Fair. So we're all nice primed and ready to go. And I think I'm going to do something that's kind of like, man, I always do something smoky. I have gold earrings on, I have gold jewelry on, so maybe we'll do some blue and gold. Maybe a halo eye. I don't know. Let's just go with the flow here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with one of the darker matte shades in this palette, and that is going to be the shade Christmas Eve, which, oh man, I'm so sad because it has such beautiful embossment in this palette. But this is the shade Christmas Eve right here. And I'm going to take the brush that I love to do my crease in, which this is a Scott Barnes brush. But I really love this brush. I think I've mentioned it before because I love how it just like tucks into your crease and just kind of helps you draw that line of the look that you're going for. So I'm going to take that shade and kind of just press it in there and kind of just sweep it. I want to start there, and I think I'm going to do a halo eye. But man, I want to sit down and talk about, like, the things I want to talk about today while I'm doing this is I really want to talk about the anxiety that people get during Christmas time, because I don't know about y'all, but my God, is my anxiety kicking my ass, okay? And I think it's because I'm a parent. You know, if you have kids, let me know down in the comments below, but do you face a lot of anxiety during the holiday season? For me, I think it's because I want to make everything kind of perfect for my kids. And I just want to make sure that everything goes smoothly and, you know, they have that great experience, that nice Hallmark Christmas experience, which I think is unachievable. So if you've achieved that, let me know too, and then tell me your secrets. But so this weekend, we are going to be taking the kids, actually tomorrow, because you're going to be seeing this on a Friday. We are taking the kids to go see... Man, before I finish talking, if you have children in the room and you're not listening to this in your AirPods or your headphones, I might be talking about subjects that you don't want small ears to hear. Not that it's inappropriate or anything, but I don't want to ruin your magical Christmas. So here's your warning to put the AirPods in, watch this later, or whatever. Just make sure your little ones aren't around. So now I'll continue. We're going to go to the Galveston Railroad Museum. Mouthful. And they do this thing. I think this is the second year that they're doing this. But they basically create the Polar Express experience for your children. Like for you and your family, right? And they get on the train. You know, they get hot cocoa served to them. They sing the hot cocoa song. There's even like, you know, the train takes you into like a little North Pole and Santa Claus is there. And I don't know if like every kid gets a bell or if a couple kids get a bell or it depends on the package you paid for. I don't know. I'll see Saturday. I'll give you an update if y'all are curious. But that is what we're doing on Saturday. And I know for a fact that my kids are going to be so excited. We're going to watch the Polar Express before we go, like maybe the night before or the day before that. The Polar Express is my boy's favorite Christmas movie. Harper really enjoys it too, but I mean, she never really said which Christmas movie is her favorite, but my oldest Emmett, it could be July, it could be May, it could be February. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is. He wants to watch the Polar Express. He absolutely loves that movie. So I cannot wait to watch their little faces light up when they find out what we're doing. It's just going to be so precious. Alright, I'm going to take a much fluffier brush and I'm going to use a lighter matte blue. So I'm going to be using the shade Nightfall. So you can see it's just right here. That way I can kind of buff this shade out so it's not so harsh and just like skin tone darkness, you know? But like to plan that with my family, like it was stressful because one, I'm a procrastinator when it comes to, you know, buying tickets for stuff. So of course I waited absolutely last minute to buy the tickets, and this type of thing sells out really quickly. Like last year it sold out like that. And so originally I wanted to go in like mid-December. The 16th would have been ideal for my family and for my family that's coming down to visit and for, you know, other family that's coming down to go do this experience with us. But all those dates were sold out and I was like, shit. So of course we're going like second week of November. It's okay. You know, that's just what was available. But like these type of things just stress me out because I want to make everything so perfect for my kids. I don't want Christmas ruined for them, you know, so I want to make sure I do the whole Santa thing right every year. I want to make sure that like when it comes to shopping for my kids or doing experiences with my kids, that it just runs so smoothly. And like the idea of doing it is very exciting, but it also gives me so much anxiety. So I want to know, if you're a parent, if these things also cause you anxiety, or am I just like highly strung? I don't know. You know, like, I want to know how everyone, like, how do I say it? Like, I want to know how everyone accomplishes their perfect Christmas. Like, I want to know. I want to know how you do Santa. Because the way that we do Santa is like we do the elf on the shelf. And we start our elf a little bit differently than everyone else. We do it the day after Thanksgiving just because we find it very enjoyable to set up the elves in the most ridiculous, absurd ways around our house. So I feel like the more days, the better. Alright, so I've got that nice and blended out. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to that darker blue Christmas Eve. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that on my like inner corner and then like on my outside of my eye so I can go ahead and do like a halo eye look. So that's kind of what I've decided on. I know it was like iffy here and there, but that is what I'm going for. I really am enjoying how this palette is just so easy to work with. Like the shades are so pigmented, but they just blend just absolutely beautifully. So real quick, before I continue, I did hop off camera and apply the Drug Cosmetics Clean Canvas eye base in the center of my lid because I want to use the duochrome or multi-chrome shade in this palette, which is actually going to be the shade Gorgeous, which really, it is a gorgeous shade. So you've got like, it looks purple right now on camera, but I have shifts of like gold and blue. So I feel like it's going to be perfect to put in the center of the eye for this look. I'm just going to use my finger. And so that's what it looks like on my finger. And you know what? I'm also going to go ahead and swatch it. So let's swatch it right here. And so I don't know. Man, is that even picking up on camera? Blend it out as well. So that's what it looks like blended out. I don't even know if it's picking up. But that is what I'm going to be putting on the center of my eyelid. So the other thing that seems to be giving me quite a bit of anxiety for the holidays this year that didn't really happen last year is how early stores are pushing like Black Friday sales, right? So, I mean, I already saw ads. I think it was like from Target and it was like Black Friday deals starting this week. And I'm guessing it's because of how things are going economically, but at the same time, it makes me feel like I'm behind on getting the things I need to purchase for Christmas, like when it comes to presents and, you know, even prepping for like family being over for the holidays. So I feel behind, but it's only November 9th. I'm not behind, but the entire like world is making me feel like I'm behind. It's great. It also didn't help that all of these holiday palettes were released back in October. So like this palette, I believe dropped on October 11th. It wasn't even Halloween yet. Now, this palette did take about 3 to 4 weeks for it to ship to me. So it is coming from Sweden, so that's why it took so long. But at the same time, it's like, holy shit, we haven't even had like spooky season yet. Which is also why I waited so long before I even played with it on camera or played with it at all. Because I'm like, it's not Christmas time yet. I'm not touching it. All right, so now I'm gonna take, I think I'm gonna take the shade Blue Star. So Blue Star is this beautiful deep blue shimmer right here. And honestly, that has a purple shift to it. So on the website, it doesn't say it's a multi-chrome, but it's giving me multi-chrome vibes. So I'm going to take the shade Blue Star and I'm going to use that shade to blend in between the matte Christmas Eve shade, which is going to be that dark blue I used, and the shade Gorgeous. So I'm going to kind of blend it together. And I'm going to start off by using a brush. So hopefully this works well with a brush. If not, I'm about to find out. Oh yeah. Oh wow, that is beautiful. And it does apply really nicely with a brush. So I'm gonna try to put a little bit on my finger and see how that does too. Oh wow. So honestly, I can't tell a difference between applying with my finger and applying with a brush. They both have like almost the same effect. So for someone like me who wants things more blended and not such a harsh line, I prefer to use a small detailing brush. So that's what I'm gonna do, but it's blending really, really nicely. Oh, wow, okay. So I think this is a good point for me to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face and just do like a repeat over here. That way we can get into doing the under eyes, play with some of these gold shimmers in this palette, and then I can tell you my first impression thoughts on specifically the Christmas Eve palette. All right, I'm back. Not gonna lie, it's been actually a couple hours, but I do have like my foundation on, and obviously I finished up the other eye. I added a little bit of blush, and I actually pulled out for my blush because, you know, my eyes were blue, and I kind of feel like a sophisticated Mimi. So for blush, I was like going for, well, my eyes are blue, so I must be cold. I don't know. So I wanted like a deeper, more like rosy blush. I used the Pat McGrath like Bridgerton Blushing Delights palette. And I used like this deeper one right here, which is really pretty. So it is like, you have to build it up to get it this bright. But I figured I'd share with you what blush I used, and I want to share with you what highlighter I'm going to use. So I'm kind of going with like the holiday vibes and the cold vibes. I'm going to be using a highlighter from Ofra Cosmetics in the shade Peppermint. So it's kind of it's got like a slight pink tone to it, but it's not like over pink where it doesn't look like a blush topper, if that makes sense. But I'm just going to put like a little bit here, so that way I look glowy and cold is the vibe I'm going for. Man, I only started like, I heard Ofra Cosmetics for years. Like everyone's like, they're highlighters, they're bomb, they're everything, right? And the only reason I started using them, like using Ofra Cosmetics, is surprisingly because of BoxyCharm. I got this like amazing face palette from them. And at that point I was like, man, this is really good. Let me try some more things. So the only thing I haven't tried from them is their eyeshadows. And I do have an eyeshadow palette that still haven't reached for. If you watched my declutters, you saw that I kept it and promised I'd use it. We haven't used it yet. But their highlighters, I love. Like this peppermint one. So I actually just ordered a few more things from Ofra Cosmetics, and there was a highlighter included. But I just really love how it looks on the skin and how it's not like glittery. It's that glow. I'll put a little on my nose because I'm really cold. I'm going to pretend it's winter in Texas. But it's now time to move to the under eyes. So that's like the whole point of this video is this palette. So I really want to change up, I got all this blue going on the eyelids themselves. So I think I'm going to go in the shade Lemon Tart. So this is going to be this matte yellow right here. I'm going to start off by applying that in my inner, like under my inner corner and into the inner corner itself. I'm not going to lie, like I love color. Like I love bold colors. I like to do colorful eyeshadow looks. I like to play with color in my hair. There's just one color I really don't like, and it's the color yellow. I don't know why I despise the color yellow, but I do. But I'm going to play with it because it is a pretty color. It's my least favorite color. But I'm hoping maybe I can do this yellow and then add a little bit of gold in there and see how that looks. Oh dear, we're not having, oh shit. Let me try that again. Maybe I didn't pick up enough on my brush. Yeah, that was the case. I didn't pick enough up on my brush. It is still, like, you have to put quite a bit of product to get that pigment to show. But it's coming nicely. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe when we put some gold on top of it, I'll like it a little bit more. But I'm taking that yellow and I'm bringing it just to, halfway right here. I probably should silence my phone. Oops, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to take the shade Night Sky. So it almost is black, but it's not black because it's like a black with blue. So it's really, really dark, but there is blue in that black. And that's what I'm going to take to connect that yellow color, that mustard yellow, to like the rest of my eyes. Oh, that's pretty. And then I'm going to take like a really nice fluffy brush and kind of swoop it to make it blend all together a lot nicely. My grammar sucks. By the way, I did not excel in English. I excelled in math. So when I talk funny, it's because I cannot put things together correctly grammatically. Oh my god, I can't speak today. I want to get a really nice soft blend going. Okay, now I'm starting to dig this yellow. Okay. The way that it blends in with that blue is gorgeous. Like, I don't know if we're zoomed in close enough to see. I don't know if I want you to get closer though, because I got some pimples a brewing and my pores are huge. So I don't know if I want anybody any closer than you already are. Do you ever have this problem where you have so many makeup brushes that you can't find the makeup brush you're using, but it's right in front of you? But you still dig in your makeup brushes looking for that one that's still in front of you, because it keeps happening to me. In the inner corner, I'm going to go ahead and put a gold to kind of blend that yellow together. And I'm going to be using the shade Snow Light. So it's going to be this shade right here. And it does look like that on the finger. I went ahead and like swatched it and rubbed it out on my wrist right there. Look how beautiful that is. You could almost use that as like very shimmery highlighter if you wanted to. I'm going to take a small detailing brush and just, put it in the inner corner and then see how far I want to take it. Oh, that is so pretty. You know, that's a color I never thought I would put with blue. Like, to me, blue and silver, this is me kind of stepping out my comfort zone a little bit by using like golds and yellows. I think we got a really good eye look going on here, and I feel naked without lipstick. So I want to put some lipstick on, some lashes, complete this look. And I want to go ahead and give my first impressions on this palette, do a few swatches so we can see the colors on my arms and see how they look, especially with shades that I didn't use. And yeah, so I'll be right back. All right, so obviously this is the final look. I threw on some lashes from Lunar Beauty, surprise shocker. If this is not the first time you've watched my videos, this is the lash that I use. It's the Style Nova. Absolutely love them, and I cannot live without them. But I want to do some quick swatches of shades that I did not use in this video. So I actually want to do one shade that I did use, and that was that black blue. And that is the shade Night Sky. It does look like this, and you know, on camera it looks very black. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch it right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and rub it out a little bit, so hopefully you can see the blue in that black for sure. And there was no primer on my arm, by the way. So that is the shade Night Sky. So in that swatch, you can definitely see the blue tones in it. Just in the pan, it does look quite dark and very, like, it looks quite dark and almost black. The next shade I'm going to swatch is another matte shade, and it is the shade Just Now. And this one's like the green tone in this palette. It's like a matte army green, maybe a little bit paler than army green. I'm gonna rub that one out as well. That sounds so bad. I'm going to smudge it out, kind of smoke it on my arm so you can get a feel for the shadow. And that is the shade Just Now. Let's do a shimmer that I did not play with. This is the shade Blue Ice. I think judging by the shade, you can tell it's going to be a blue shade. So there it is swatched. Just like the other shades, I am going to rub it out. And so it does it does come off more as a topper shade. So you can see a little bit of that blue, but it's mostly blue sparkle. Once you blend out that shade from the initial swatch, let's do one more. I'm gonna do this really pretty light purple color, and that is gonna be the shade Wonderful. Gosh, look how beautiful that is on the finger. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna swatch this one up here because I'm running out of arm space. So it's right here. Just like that Blue Ice shade, when you blend that shade out, it becomes more of a topper. So there's no purple, but there is purple sparkle. Obviously, swatches aren't the same as when you're playing with on the eyes, but I just wanted to swatch a few of the shades that I didn't get an opportunity to use when I made this eye look. So now let's talk about my thoughts, opinions. All right, so unfortunately, as of the day that I'm filming this, which is really sad because I was kind of hoping to get this video out before they made this announcement, and that is that they sold out of their pre-order. On Instagram, that's where they made the announcement, but if you go to the comments on Instagram, you got some very unhappy people who are upset that they missed it. Sometimes when brands do these limited edition launches, they say it's limited edition, and they do bring it back. So you never know in this situation. Personally, it wouldn't upset me if they brought this collection back out because they did sell out and people still want it. If you're interested in this palette, I would definitely follow them on Instagram and just, you know, kind of keep up and see if they do redrop this palette. For $43.90, this palette to me is totally worth it. The mattes, the shimmers, the multi-chrome. I am definitely going to be a return customer. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to launch in December. They did mention they're going to have a December launch. And if I love the color story, I think I will be a returning customer. So I love it. If you've tried Oden's eye cosmetics, I would love to know in the comment section below. But until next time, bye y'all.